Hello everyone, my name is Chef Fernando Mojica with escoffiaonline.com. Today we're going to talk about spices, the top 5 spices that you need to have on hand, or you should have on hand when you're going to cook, because they're very versatile, they're easy to use, and they provide a lot of different uses for cooking. So what we have is we have cinnamon powder, we have crushed red pepper or pepper flakes, we have paprika, we have onion powder, and we have garlic powder. Cinnamon is actually very versatile. You can use it for your morning coffee, you can use it for pastry, you can use it for savory. So think about your pumpkin pie, right? You use that as a pastry element, or you can use some cinnamon in there. Think about a carrot cake, you got some cinnamon in there. But also think about, on the savory side, for example, potato duquesne or sweet potato duquesne, you add a little bit of cinnamon to that. And again, you can use it for your morning coffee, you can add a little bit of cinnamon. So it's very versatile, and it's also it's got a strong punch and a strong element, but it doesn't overpower the other ingredients on the recipe. So it's also very homey, very heartwarming spice that kind of reminds you a lot of home. Red pepper flakes or crushed red peppers, that adds a little bit of a punch to the ingredients. And again, you can use it for a lot of different recipes. Think about it when you go to a restaurant or go to a pizza place. You find these on a lot of the Italian places. You find these on the tables. You can sprinkle over your pizza, right, and give it a little bit more of a punch. But also, you can use it for your pastas. You can use it for casseroles, a lot of different recipes. And again, it adds a little bit of a spiciness to the dish, but it doesn't overpower any of the other ingredients. So it's very fun to use, very versatile. Of course, the more you use, the spicier the dish is going to get, even though it's a very mild spice. You want to make sure that you don't add a lot of it to a recipe, because then it's going to become hot instead of spicy. The next one is paprika. Paprika is also a type of pepper. So what it is it's a pepper that was powder. You have Hungarian paprika and you have Spanish paprika. Hungarian is a little bit more smoky, and Spanish is a little bit more hot, a little bit more spicy. But also, another thing that it adds a little bit of color. Not too much, but a little bit of color to the dish. So the next one is onion powder. Onion powder, it's fun to use, but you want to be careful how you use this one. Having onion powder on hand helps you get that flavor and makes it a little bit, obviously, more shelf stable. So it's quicker to add a little bit of intensify the flavor, if you will. So if you use onions for a soup and you want to intensify a little bit of that onion flavor, you can add a little bit of onion powder. It's all the power, all the flavor of the onion, but you want to be careful how you use this. This is very powerful. It's a very powerful spice by itself. So if you use a lot of it, you're gonna overpower all the other ingredients. So if you use it properly, if you use it correctly in small quantities, it won't overpower the dish. It'll be fine to serve. Finally, the other spice that we can use, and it's always good to have on hand, is garlic powder. It's always nice to have garlic powder on hand, because you can, again, intensify the flavors of the fresh garlic. You can use instead of fresh garlic. But again, just like with onion powder, you want to make sure that you don't use it in big quantities, because even though it's a mild spice, and it does provide a lot of the flavor of fresh garlic, but if you use it in big quantities, it will actually overpower all the other ingredients. The other thing you want to keep in mind is the brands. You want to make sure, especially with onion powder and garlic powder, that you use top quality brands. So again, we have here McCormick spice, and these are actually top of the line spices. A little bit cost-wise, it's a little bit more expensive, but you get a better quality of a spice. And the reason being is because if you use some off brands or lower quality of a spice, these spices are actually going to start tasting a little bit more chemical. They won't be as shelf stable as possible. So the flavors are going to start to fade a little bit, and eventually it's going to get to the point where you're going to actually start tasting a lot more chemicals than if you use all natural, top of the line quality of spices. So I hope you enjoyed this, the top 5 spices to have on hand to cook. Again, my name is Chef Fernando Mojica with Escoffiaonline.